Well, greetings everyone, and welcome to a very special online event today. It's called Turning Toward the Heart Through Whirling Breath and Sacred Dance. Embody your spirituality as a path to healing and wholeness. My name is Stephen Dinan. I'm the founder and CEO of the Shift Network, and I'm really blessed to be with you here, getting to explore a very beautiful way to incarnate more fully into our bodies, which is how we really experience the true blessing of spiritual development. We're going to get to explore this with a true pioneer in this arena. Her name is Miriam Peretz. She's an internationally celebrated sacred dance artist, ritualist, and movement educator. And I think you're just going to love her. So Miriam, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here with you all.
Beautiful. Well, I want to share right up front that we're going to have this time together and really create a sacred space together. And we encourage people to join in this beautiful practice that she's going to be offering in the middle of our time together. And I also want to let you know that there is a chance to go much further into a full 7-week program that we'll talk about at the end of the hour called Turning Toward the Heart. So more to come if you're inspired by this time together. So Miriam, I'd love to begin our time with a little bit of your backstory and journey, really what propelled you on this path of embodied spirituality and performance and all the things that we're going to dive into today.
Thank you. If I can, I'm going to start at the beginning. So I am a child of mystics. Both of my parents are mystics, and my beloved mother, Estelle Frankel, is my first spiritual teacher. And I really was raised surrounded by devotion, prayer, ritual space. And my mother really instilled a deep spiritual practice in me from a young age, which I'm so grateful for. And she was my first teacher of gratitude practice, of humility. And throughout my childhood, I really always gravitated towards movement and dance as my way of communicating with the world. And I kind of started to find myself in high school where I was just passionate about studying as many world dance traditions as I could, really looking to indigenous wisdom around the body as a temple. And I studied many sacred dance forms from all over the world. And my first initiation as a whirling dervish was actually in high school. I was called a spinner, and I would attend many Grateful Dead, Santana concerts, all these concerts, and I would be with a group of people spinning and having incredibly transformational experiences. At the end of high school, I finally met a beloved brother, Aziz, and he taught me about what it is to be a Mevlevi dervish. He guided me to his mother, Hilal Aneh, who I am so blessed, has been my teacher on the path of being a Mevlevi dervish. She initiated me, and it was this feeling of finding home, of all of a sudden, wow, this practice, my spinning, my body practice, my spiritual practice, my dance practice, everything really just like came together in such a beautiful way. And for me, it's really always been so clear that my form of devotion is through the body. And yeah, really like finding my Sufi people was just such a coming home. I always use that because I was really on search for so long and grew up in mysticism, but still kind of, we'd go to temple and be sitting in chairs, and I would say, why are we sitting in chairs? Like, this doesn't feel, we should be moving our bodies. We should be prostrating onto the ground. These practices, which are really embedded in Sufi culture. And I want to also just mention in my dance and movement journey, I traveled throughout the Middle East and Central Asia and Europe, and was just so deeply moved by being kind of brought into people's homes and cultures and practices. And I kind of really understood what it means to create a holistic practice coming from indigenous wisdom. And we look today at like dance therapy and somatic therapy, and I'm fascinated how these newer modalities are so deeply actually rooted in ancient shamanic wisdom, and how indigenous cultures around the world have been doing dance therapy and somatic therapy practice with a different language. But so that's really been kind of my background in how I've arrived at my offerings.
Hmm. What a beautiful background, and very, yeah, just very powerful to see how fully you've embraced this path, the Mevlevi path as well, with given your mystical background. Maybe it would be good to share a little bit for folks who haven't done whirling practice. What is it that opens in a kind of a more repetitive, devotional, twirling practice that really sort of opens the mystical heart, and maybe share a little bit about your experience from within that.
Yeah, definitely. I want to talk a little bit general and then I'll get more specific with whirling. But kind of working with practices with the body, working with repetition is a really strong theme in sacred dance. In many indigenous practices, people often use the word trance. And that's one way of looking at it, but there's something about repetition and repetitive movement that really allows one to go inside, to go deep into the heart, into the organs, and this kind of like dropping down from the head. We're so much in our head space in this world and in our daily lives. And when we go into repetitive movement, we're really invited into a space also of finding unity with ourselves, with our breath, with all of creation. So in general, I would say that like many of the movement practices that I teach, that in this, also in this course that I'll be offering, we'll be doing practices that are based off of sacred circle dances that I call, many of which are movement mantras. And whirling is one of those kind of repetitive movements. And really the invitation again is getting out of the mind and allowing the heart and the organs and the body, the wisdom of the heart and the body to lead. And in that place, we can experience profound healing and an integration of all of the parts of ourself, and all of the parts of ourself also deeply connected with nature, deeply connected with our communities, and really with the whole universe.
Hmm. I imagine that part of the practice is sort of moving beyond the kind of self-consciousness. Am I doing this right? Or sort of awkwardness or watching other people. I wonder if you want to share anything about like how to move into that kind of more expansive mode with this kind of a practice.
I love that. I really think actually what you're talking about is like, this is what sacred dance is all about, is getting out of kind of that place of like discomfort, or what does this look like, or how am I moving? Is like sacred dance is about connecting our intentions with the movements of our body, and it can be in the most simple way. So I like to think about the heart and the arms, the connection of our hands and our arms as extensions of our heart. And some of the movements that I lead are so incredibly simple and yet deeply profound. And I call many of them heart medicine. So I think that for people that maybe aren't used to having a dance practice, rooting the movements in intentions, coming from the heart, coming from the soul, is a beautiful way to kind of enter a movement practice. And I also, this is an interesting way to think of it, but I am always aware of my divine impermanence. And movement and dance is one of the most beautiful ways of expressing our divine impermanence, because we only have this moment in time. So when we enter into a sacred dance space, however we're moving, we become aware that this moment in time is precious, and this body is on loan to us. So we can give ourselves in an open way. We can allow ourselves to drop into an experience, hopefully without all of the blocks of the mind saying, oh, you can't do this, or oh, you look funny, or what you were talking about, that edge kind of.
Mhm.
So yeah.
I wonder if you could share a little bit about how breath weaves into this.
Hmm. So breath practice, I really studied deeply coming from the Sufi tradition, and um, the breath is the expression of our soul inside of this body, and it is one of the most powerful tools we have to bring healing to ourselves, to come into alignment, to find grounding. So for me, all of the movement and dance practices that I share are first grounded in breath awareness. And I have a comprehensive, I call it a warm-up, but it's really a whole like movement ritual that is guided breath practice with movement. And it really kind of prepares our body as a temple for sacred dance.
Beautiful. Well, I know so much of what you want to share with us today is really experiencing it directly. So I think we should just go ahead and transition to talking, or actually from talking into really a demonstration that we can all participate in.
I want to invite you all to find a hand on the heart and a hand on the liver. And we're going to take a moment to ground in the miracle of this body on loan to us, the miracle of our breath, taking a moment to visualize all of the internal organs supporting us. And we'll take a very gentle sway, shifting from one foot to the other. I'm going to offer a prayer for gratitude as we sway our spines and come into this place of gratitude for the miracle of this body. This prayer is coming from the Huichol Native American tradition, given to me by my beloved mother many, many years ago. Grandmother spirit who makes everything, I feel blessed for your giving us a new day and a new beginning. I acknowledge that I am receiving your morning light in my heart and the song of Mother Earth in my body. Like the trees with their roots deep into the ground, I am fed by the earth every second. I will walk with this love and understanding until the day meets the night's presence in your sacred place. Open my heart that I may learn. Open our hearts that we may learn. And with that, we'll stretch our arms wide and feel the expanse of our heart to the opposite ends of the globe. Feel a spaciousness in the ribs and a spaciousness in the heart. And we'll find a nice wide position and find an inhale through the nose and an exhale through the mouth, grounding the energy down. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. This is known to be a water breath. And as we inhale, we are inviting this gratitude, filling our cup and pouring all of the blessings into the body through the mind, heart, and all of the organs. Inhale, filling our cups with goodness and pour the blessings in. with each breath, really visualize all of the abundance, all of the love in our lives, all of the things we have to be grateful for. See them, feel them, pour them into the body through the crown. Slow inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. One more, slowing the breath even more. Now we'll raise the energy from the earth up to our heart and feel the expanse of the heart, big and wide. And we're gonna compress. Now the inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Feeling like this ball of light in our hands. Expand, feel the heart go wide. And inhale. Last time. And we'll carry this ball of light out through the crown, bringing the feet together. We'll pour this light out through the palms. And we're going to activate our palms and see our hands, our palms as extensions from our heart, with the ability to bring healing to our bodies, to our organs. We're going to start moving from the pelvis up through the stomach, intestines, liver, kidneys, heart, and mind. We're going to find this gentle sway of the spine, side to side, and we're going to activate our palms and bring the hands across the pelvis, cleansing out the organs. Moving any stagnant energy, really using the palm, touching the body. Keep the inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Moving up to the stomach, kidneys, liver, intestines, cleansing out. Using the breath. And coming into the heart center, cleansing out the heart. This is an invitation to let go of any grudge we might be holding. Whatever's blocking our heart, use the movement of the hand to swipe it away. And moving up to the mind, bringing the hand across the face, the mind, emptying out. We'll bring it back from the beginning to the pelvis. And moving up to the stomach, intestines, kidneys, liver. And bring it to the heart. Wipe the grudge from your heart. And the mind, clear out the mind. And we'll come back to our center place, bring the hands to the heart, and we'll together lower our heads in service of our heart. All of the love and all of the blessings, and one deep, deep bow. Release the head all the way down. I hope you enjoyed these movement practices. For me, gratitude is the pillar of all spiritual practice. From gratitude, we build and we grow outward. But my movement practice is always, always grounded first in gratitude before anything. And the second practice, the detoxing of our organs, using the power of our own hands to bring healing to our organs. And again, it's a way to really connect with the miracle of our organs. We take things for granted sometimes until we have a problem with one of our organs. We just assume that they're going to work. So for me, this sacred dance practice is about really coming into full awareness of the miracle of each and every part of our body. So this cleansing out our organs, this is a beautiful way of getting the blood flowing. Cleansing out the heart, wiping the grudge from our heart. Pir Mevlana Jalaluddin Rumi talks about washing the heart 7 times each and every day. And growing up, my mother, my first spiritual teacher, taught me to never go to sleep with a grudge in my heart. And that stuck with me for my entire life. So I have a practice of releasing, washing my heart before I sleep each night. Sometimes the grudge will sneak its way back, but again, each day we have that opportunity to let go and to release for our own health and well-being, keeping the heart an open channel. And finally, the practice of bowing, it is truly one of the most profound movements of the human body, prostration. And bowing is seen all over the world, in some places more than others. We lack this practice here in the West. So it's a beautiful practice. I invite you all to practice the art of bowing. Thank you so much.
Mm. Well, what a beautiful offering. You just poetry in motion, and really clear that you're just embodying these teachings of gratitude and releasing of grudges and bowing and reverence just in your body in a beautiful way. So thank you for offering that. I wonder if you would now also bless us with a full performance to sort of invoke us into the full possibility of what this practice can bring.
Yes, I would love to. I want to invite you all watching to just take a moment and ground in this moment in time, and take a moment for a personal prayer or intention that feels ripe for this moment. And allow this prayer or intention to really enter into the heart and into all of the body. And as I offer this sacred dance, this whirling practice, I bless us all that our prayers and intentions whirl into this moment in time and ripple out. May our prayers be heard and accepted in the highest place.
what an exquisite offering that was. Thank you.
Thank
What
you.
a beautiful embodiment of everything you've been teaching.
Thank you.
Anything you want to share about the internal experience as you really enter into that more ecstatic, devotional, whirling space?
Yeah, for me, whirling is the easiest access point to prayer. And when I whirl, I immediately am able to access my deepest prayers in the most beautiful way. And one of the physical experiences that helps that is when you turn, there's a feeling of everything releasing and flying off of you. I like to talk about this feeling of being almost naked. Because when we turn, we can't hold on to things. There's the force of gravity allows us to really let go and drop. And in that dropping of all the pieces and parts of ourselves and garments, we're left with our essence, with the most beautiful, purest light and
Hmm.
essence, which is our soul.
Hmm. That's really beautiful. I'd never thought of it that way, that it's like you're generating this centrifugal force and everything that's not you is just being whooshed away. And very beautiful. Particularly important as we enter a very chaotic time for the world to be able to release that which is not us and just does not serve.
Yes, very much. And also, the isolation, a lot of people have expressed to me this feeling of kind of fragmentation, isolation. There's so much polarization, and whirling is really about unity consciousness. And we are inviting this experience of, I call it sweet dissolve because it's the sweetest feeling, the dissolve of the separate self and the universe. And always I have this feeling of incredible joy and relief to get out of the narrow place of my ego, of myself, and all of a sudden actually really experience unity with all creation. And that is the incredible blessing in this practice of whirling.
Mm. Mm. Love for you to share a little bit more about the connected aspect as well, since so much of the whirling practice is also done in community and spiritual community, and how doing this together creates a whole nother level of unity consciousness.
Completely. And I think that more and more people are interested in this practice. And also, yeah, in that sense of a practice that we all do communally. And even if we do it through the sacred portal of Zoom, we are still doing this together. And more we're understanding the connection of human bodies in movement and together and in relationship with nature and Mother Earth as ways to really bring unity consciousness. It is no longer through words, languages, and maybe like religious structures, but I think more and more the unity consciousness is going to be about embodied spirituality.
Mm. Well, I invite you to come forward and sit down again, and let's talk a little bit more about how people can go further with this beautiful work and really the prayer, prayer in motion, and really experiencing the benefits of shedding of layers and embodiment of spirituality and gratitude, and using breath to kind of connect with the larger cosmic forces. It's so much more powerful than sitting, I think, and just having a monkey mind that's sort of working away at whatever the puzzles and challenges of the day to enter into this kind of a full-bodied experience. Helps to bring us into our centers in a whole different way. So, yeah, I'd love for you to just, first of all, reflect on what you've seen in students who've taken on this practice and how it can really open and complement any other spiritual practices you're doing to really open up a whole different dimension of embodied spirituality.
So I really believe that embodiment practice is important for all humanity. And a lot of spiritual practices are maybe more focused on mind and stillness, which are beautiful as well, not to discredit, but I think that incorporating embodiment practice is really important for all people. And a lot of my students actually share with me that they come from their families of origin, the religions and practices and cultures that they actually don't really connect with or don't find their full expression in, and that the sacred dance practices really feel like a place of home and are kind of, yeah, a safe sanctuary.
Mm.
And what's beautiful is that we can all move our bodies together. And I have many students from many lands that speak different languages, come from different religious backgrounds. We can have many different practices, many different beliefs, but we can all unify in the miracle of our bodies moving together. We all understand the language of bowing, of lowering the head in service of the heart. We all understand the language of healing a broken heart by stretching the arms wide, hugging. The beauty of embodiment is it brings us together.
Well, let's talk more explicitly about your upcoming program, since I think it's a really unique opportunity to learn from you, to practice together, to embrace these different dimensions of our being in a very embodied way. So Miriam has agreed to teach a brand new program for Shift, and we're very excited about it. It's called Turning Toward the Heart: Sacred Dance, Sufi Whirling, and Breath as Paths to Embodied Spirituality, Healing, and Wholeness. You can find it at the URL embodiedsufiritual.com, embodiedsufiritual.com. It's a 7-week program. You don't have to have any background at all. And really, it's just if you feel the heart and heart's call to really take this practice and help make it your own. So, Miriam, I'd love for you to share a little bit about your intentions for the program and what people will come away with, and then we'll give a tour of the modules.
Yeah, so this course is really kind of a coming together of many things for me, and it's a beautiful opportunity for me to offer all of my sacred embodiment practices kind of in one container. And my hope for this course is that students will create or will take away practices to incorporate into daily life. So in the first module, I'll be teaching a practice, an embodied ritual practice that I call it the daily practice. So my intention is that students will have a practice that can be done. It's short, super accessible, in the comfort of one's home or in nature. And the practices are really about integrating intention with movement. And some of the intentions I've spoken about, I'll just reiterate: gratitude, humility, generosity, compassion. These intentions, these soul traits, I call them, will be integrated into the movements. And as we navigate life's rough waters and heartbreaks and all of what we experience in life, I think of my offerings as like a toolbox. And the breath practices that we'll do will be a way of coming into grounding, a way of self-soothing. And really all of the practices I feel like will be wonderful practices to incorporate into daily life.
Hmm. So there's more detail on the page, but let's go through a bit of an overview of things. So Module 1, Embodied Spiritual Practices to Cultivate Healing Energy and Sanctify the Body as a Temple of the Soul.
So in that first module, I'm going to be sharing this movement ritual practice that I mentioned, which I call the daily practice. And it's really coming into that awareness that our bodies are temples for our soul, with the heart as the innermost sanctuary. So I'll be sharing a little bit about all of my movement practices that will be part of this course, with specific talk about Central Asian dance and movement, as well as Sufi ritual and embodiment practices, and ways that we can kind of bring into our daily, just walking through our lives, an awareness of the body as a temple. Also with specific focus to gratitude, which, as I mentioned, for me is the pillar of all sacred embodiment and spiritual practice.
Module 2, Elemental Purification Breath to Connect to the Divine Presence within you.
So we'll be studying the traditional breath practices passed down by the great master Hazrat Inayat Khan. And I have created movements that will accompany this breath practice. So we will learn the traditional way that Hazrat Inayat Khan taught this breath practice, but then I will elaborate through movement and dance with each of the breath practices. And the elemental purification breath practice has integrated into my life as a daily morning practice and is an incredible way of bringing healing into the whole body.
Module 3, cultivate humility to navigate life's obstacles with acceptance and grace.
Yes, humility is one of the most important soul traits, and we'll be working with some of the most simple movements, including bowing, again, lowering the head in service of the heart. So much of Sufi ritual and embodiment practices are about bowing. We even bow when we enter a space or greet a beloved. So we'll be integrating movement with this awareness of humility.
Module 4, practice the art of whirling to attune to the wisdom of your heart as you dissolve the ego.
So we will taste from a great ocean of knowledge about whirling. And I'll be sharing some of my personal experiences on the path of being a whirling dervish. We'll learn some of the symbology of the positions of the body in the Mevlevi tradition. And we'll also jump into some ecstatic whirling that will be free-form whirling.
Module 5, awaken the ecstasy of divine love and wisdom with the sacred poetry of the great Sufi mystics.
So poetry has been one of my greatest inspirations in dance. And I have oftentimes found a poem that creates an entire choreography or creates a very simple movement mantra. And through embodying the words, we're able to imprint their wisdom deeper in our being.
Module 6, open the gates of your heart with chanting, prayer, and ecstatic whirling.
We'll be working with whirling as also a cathartic release. And we'll be using repetition of chanting known as zikr as a way to really enter into a space of remembrance of the divine, that we are manifestations of the divine. So we'll be working with different modalities of both releasing negative energies through cathartic release, movement, breath, and also chanting and vocalization to really connect with our heart center and align with our intentions.
And finally, Module 7, the sacred symbolism of circles, spirals, and cycles to reflect on the unity of all creation.
So we will be working in the last module with sacred circle, kind of looking at sacred circle symbology, as well as learning movements from the Alevi Bektashi Sema, which is a sacred circle dance, similar to whirling, but also very different. And I'm going to teach some of the traditional movements that I studied over the course of many years. And I will also share my inspiration on my personal journey in creating sacred circle dances. And in particular, one sacred circle dance that honors our ancestors. So we will have a deep practice of inviting and remembering our benevolent ancestors through a sacred circle dance.
Well, what a beautiful program. And you're a great emissary for this work and really clear that you embody this in your own life as well. So I'll share a little bit more about the program. Again, it's in more detail at embodiedsufiritual.com. You'll get not only 7 90-minute live teaching sessions with Miriam, which is going to include time to ask your questions and do practices together live. You also get recordings, both video and audio, which are a great way to go back and do the practices again. You also get word-for-word transcripts, weekly exercises, and practices for home. There's a Facebook community group to support you and deepen your experience, as well as small group time to connect with other participants. And on the page, you'll also see a number of extra bonuses that really enhance your journey. There's a video recording with Miriam Hasna called Meditation on the Rose. There's a second bonus. It's a video recording with Miriam and the Kadim Ensemble. It's called Interfaith Performance of Sacred Music and Dance. You want to share a little bit more about that bonus?
Yes, that was a beautiful, very heart-moving performance that we did at Pacific School of Religion in Berkeley. It was an interfaith concert. And in the piece, I am whirling, and I'm not sure that you can see on the camera because I'm a little bit small, but I was weeping. And I had an incredibly profound experience in that performance, which is why I wanted to share it. It was never shared anywhere. So it's very special. And Rachel's voice, well, you will hear, but she really has the tool of cracking the heart wide open. And when I whirl with her singing, I really feel access to the widest expanse of my heart and prayer.
Beautiful bonus, and that's just one bonus. And then there's a special bonus. It's actually a two-part bonus that anyone who signs up right away by midnight tonight Pacific time is going to get as a special bonus. This is a video dialogue with Taya Masher, plus 2 music tracks, and it's called Embracing the Sacred Practice of Embodied Remembrance. Anything you want to share about Taya and her work there?
Yeah, definitely. Teama is a beloved dervish sister, and we both are students of beloved Sheikh Ibrahim Farajajeh, also known as Ibrahim Baba. May his secret be sanctified. And we came into spiritual community under Ibrahim Baba's blessing. And Teama is an incredible teacher she holds so much humility. And she's going to be in this particular offering talking about remembrance through chanting, through zikr, which is a practice that we did very often together and with our Sheikh Ibrahim Baba.
Mm. Beautiful. Well, there's more detail on that exquisite bonus as well at embodiedsufiritual.com. So we've kept the investment for this program very accessible, given how much beauty and depth and power can be liberated with it. It's just 3 payments of $128, or you save 10% when you pay in full with 1 payment of $349. The course is going to start Tuesday, November 25th, and run Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific and 8 p.m. Eastern. Even if you can't make those live times, you can still get the full value with the recordings and the transcripts in the community as well. And there's some really beautiful testimonials about Miriam and her teaching work and her embodiment of this message. And you can get more details again at the page at embodiedsufiritual.com, and you'll get the special bonus if you sign up by midnight tonight with Teama and the Embracing the Sacred Practice of Embodied Remembrance. So Miriam, we're nearing the end of our time. Really pleasure and joy to be with you. Thank you for just really being an emissary of such grace in a time of a lot of tumult. So thank you. And anything that you want to share that's on your heart for folks who are considering doing the full Turning Toward the Heart program with you.
Yes, I wanted to offer some words, but also a poem to start. Is that okay?
Sure.
So this is one of my very favorite poets who we will be exploring his poetry in this course, Yunus Emre. And this poem is kind of like the essence of why I do what I do, and the essence of why sacred dance is so important. And it's captured so well by Yunus Emre, as well as many of the great Sufi mystics. We entered the house of realization. We witnessed the body. The whirling skies, the many-layered earth, the 70,000 veils we found in the body. The night and the day, the planets, the words inscribed on the holy tablets, the hill that Moses climbed, the temple we observed in the body. Torah, Psalms, Gospel, Quran, what these books have to say, we found in the body. Everybody says these words of Yunus are true. Truth is wherever you want it. We found it all within the body.
Mm.
Yunus Emre. Such a
So
beautiful
beautiful.
poem. I read this poem frequently. So I'm really excited about sharing this course. It really brings together so many of my most precious life experiences and teachings. And I've never done it in this way. So I'm really grateful for this opportunity through the Shift Network to really bring all of this body of work together in one very cohesive way. It's going to be a beautiful journey. And I pray that this offering will be of service to community near and far. I pray that I will be a teacher with a clear heart, with humility, with love, and that all of what I have to share come through in this sacred Zoom portal. So I invite you all to come onto this journey, this caravan of lovers. If you have a broken heart, if you've been disillusioned by the crazy world that we live in, by politics, by whatever it is, I invite you to come with me on this heart-centered journey. And may we find comfort in these times together. So thank you so much, and blessings to you all. Thank you.
Blessings and gratitude to you. Thank you so much, Miriam, for this exquisite hour, and thank you all for joining. And if you'd like to go further, again, it's all at embodiedsufiritual.com. Many blessings.
Thank you.